I just watched the Barbie movie, and I thought it was pretty good. It was lighthearted and fun at sometimes, and serious when it needed to be. And then I watched Oppenheimer. Before we get started, there's a couple rules that we have to follow, like, you know, like legally speaking. So let's go through them real quick. It's probably gonna be nothing, right? Okay, so number 1, cannot cause harm to humans. It's fine. It's nothing. The whole point of an I.C.B.M is to cause harm to other people. We might not be able to cause harm now, but later when I go on my villain arc, I'll just have this in the back. So we should build it now, so I can use it later. We have another problem. I know it might not look like it from just like looking at me, but I'm actually not a government body capable of sending a nuclear payload anywhere on the globe. But I think with enough time and enough effort, I can get a 13-gram payload anywhere within a couple of yards, maybe. And if you're not in America, that's like a couple of meters, maybe. All right, so I got a little design here on a CAD program. You don't need to know what the name is. It's something. And I don't, maybe I should just like redo it, but I'm not. So this is it. This is the design. So I'm not a rocket scientist, so I don't really know if this design will work at all. So I decided to splurge a little bit. I got a really expensive simulation program. Let me just pull it up right now. So I think we're going back down at this point. So in which case we would want to deploy, yeah, so it's, this might be a flaw with the game. So I think we should just like build with it. So right now we have a couple of things working for us. I don't really know electronics, but I got this. Okay, we got a Raspberry Pi. It's connected to a servo. I got it working before. I'm not gonna show you because I'm too lazy. We also got an accelerometer that will help us with the rocket, probably. Maybe. Now we need to get some rocket parts. How are we gonna do that? Like, how? There's no way to like get them, right?
Yo, look, there's some rocket parts.
Oh my! Someone just left the rocket parts out here, dude.
Crazy.
Whoa! Let me grab these before they grab them back. Yeah. All right. Yeah. These will work for sure. So we got these two parts, which are not being reprinted because they worked out well. You take battery, stuff it down the middle. Look at that, epic. Now you take your Raspberry Pi, Frankenstein monster, and you also shove that down the middle. Oh, that ribbon. Oh, it's been bent. Oh yeah. And then what you do is you take your camera and you just kind of shove it in there. Oh, it's the width is not enough. So it's been a week since the last clip. A couple things happened. I went to Washington. That was fun. But all the project kind of all broke down. The rocket parts needed to be 3D printed again because they didn't fit together. Battery doesn't work for the Raspberry Pi anymore. That's fun. That's always a good sign. We tried to test out with a parachute, and that didn't work. So now I'm trying to get an actual parachute. We need a boost converter for the power supply, and we need an actual parachute, and we need more 3D printed rocket parts. I just got a text from Charlie that we're gonna do something today. So before we actually go into what we made and how we made it, we should probably understand how it's gonna work. I realized I haven't showed you guys how it's supposed to work, and so that might be a barrier. You start with a rocket on the ground, right? You tickle it with a little bit of electricity and it makes the rocket motor shoot up. It'll go in an arc across the sky, and as it's coming back down, it goes into stage 2, where the rocket will turn on its cameras and look around for any targets on the ground that it can find. Once it finds one, it will find its relative position to the target and move the tail fins to try and point it in that direction. Every rocket motor has another end where they will use an explosive to deploy a parachute. we're going to use that explosive to deploy a parachute for sure, but also a warhead at the target. The warhead has a little screw mechanism so that as it's coming out, it'll start spinning. This will hopefully give it some stability or something. I don't really know. If all goes to plan, the warhead will hit the target and the rest of the rocket will come down safely with a parachute. I do not think that's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna die. It's gonna explode. Optimism. So I just got finished with Project and we got the prototype of the rocket working. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but it's so sick. I didn't think it'd be so sick. It's got the camera for detecting all the targets that you would ever need. It's got servos to control the fins. It's got a Raspberry Pi inside that I'm not gonna show you because taking it apart, putting it back together is a nightmare. We didn't get the battery working yet, so we have it connected via external wire, but even then, it's so sick. Guess what just came in? That's right, the boost converter and the parachute. So that means we have everything to build the rocket. We just need to put it all together. In the meantime, we've been talking about hitting a target, but we actually have to make a target now that I think about it. Hey, we have our test dummy ready to go. It's a bit naked, so we should probably put some clothes on it real quick. All right, I think we got the final version of the test dummy ready. I think his name will be Fred with an X. And my only concern about him is that he's a little bit two-dimensional, so I don't know if the rocket's gonna hit him too well, but time will tell, I guess. I have the rocket set up right now with just a piece of paper with a black dot on it, and hopefully it will track it, give it a good shake to simulate being launched by a rocket. And as you can see, it is moving the servos to try and line up with those black dots, which is pretty epic. Now you might be thinking, a black dot on a white background. It's not really realistic to what the camera would actually see in the sky.
Welcome to the Salt Flats. You might be thinking I'm wearing a white hat because the sun is really bright and I don't want to hurt my eyes. Incorrect. I'm wearing a white hat because I don't want the rocket to look at me. We have Fred over there. We have the rocket over there. 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I guess this is the depression chair now. You may have noticed the rocket did not in fact launch. It had to do with my wiring, it seems like, and I mean, I warned you before. I don't really know electronics, so I kind of had it coming. It seems to be a lot heavier than I thought it was, and the rocket seems to not be able to lift as much as I thought it would. So I think it would look more like this, and that's not really suitable if you want a headhunting rocket. So I don't think it would have worked in the first place. Probably a good thing it didn't launch, now that I think about it, because that probably would be dangerous. So I think the project will be delayed for the foreseeable future, and maybe I'll do it again, but no guarantees. Maybe I'll make a part 2 and actually try and get someone who knows rocketry to help me. I can't think of anyone though, so I just started school, so I don't know how long it's gonna take to make the next project, but hopefully not long. I don't know, so I cannot tell you. Yeah, that's it. Bye.